Okay, welcome, Save Par Golf Podcast. Originally, it was gonna be Derek and I to start off the new year. New Year, same us, I guess. Derek's not here, which Clayton, obviously, you're not super familiar with the show. Derek's hit or miss. At this point, we have a pretty big group chat with people in it and stuff like that. It tends to be how group chats work, I guess. Everybody views Derek as the co-host, where I am kind of the one on all these different side missions and everything, which is kind of weird. Um, Derek's not here. You're stuck with me. Um, but very happy to join with Clayton with Esquire Golf. If for listeners who were remembering last year after we had JD on with 7 Iron, we're like, hey, like he was talking about you. And I'm like, dude, we have him on next week. And then obviously stuff came up, stuff happened where we didn't have you on next week. We got you on this week. So I'm going to send it to JD and be like, dude, we got Clayton on because he was nothing but good things to say about you. I have nothing but good things to say about you as well. Just from the little interaction we've had for the last 20 minutes and then just seeing your page and everything. Everybody that we have spoken to that has spoken with you or worked with you has had great things to say. So very happy to have you on. But we have Clayton with Esquire. I'm excited to learn about what Esquire Golf is because it seems very, I don't want to say broad in a negative way, but you do a lot. And a lot of
hmm
it is very fun and positive. And then we'll teach you, I will teach you a little bit about what we're doing with Save Par and Save Par podcast because we're a little bit of everything as well. Um, but do you mind introducing yourself and kind of telling everybody about what Esquire Golf is and what you're trying to do in the golf world?
Yeah, so I'm Clayton Gelfand. I run Esquire Golf, and a little bit about how Esquire Golf came to be. It really started when I was living in Chicago about a year and a half ago. I picked up golf, and I think I was just like bored. I just wanted something to do to be competitive again. I played college baseball, and I missed that competitive feeling. I missed challenging myself, and I wanted to do it in with a sport. And I think it was like pickleball or golf. And I'm like, my friends play golf. I can travel anywhere and play golf, and I can do it for the rest of my life. Golf, it is. So I started going to the range all the time at Harborside, which is just outside Chicago, and Diversity, which is downtown, and started playing. And I was horrible, but I found myself spending way too much money at the range. And I was like, you know what? I see people doing content, maybe I could try this out and it could turn into a more affordable way for me to play golf because I have a very obsessive personality. And like, if I'm not good at something, I will do it as much as I can to try to get good. And it can be very expensive. So I started Esquire Golf. And I think at the beginning, I really didn't know what it was going to be or what I wanted it to be. But I remember watching Ray from Golf Projects, and I loved what he did. I loved how he brought a business marketing mind to golf and golf brands and the way he spoke about them, the way he brought awareness to them. And I realized like there are so many creators who do on-course stuff. There's not a lot that focus on off-course things like apparel and fashion and brands and storytelling in that manner. And I was just thinking to myself, there's an opportunity there. So that's how it started with the golf brand series, where I started highlighting golf brands every single day. And I think I got up to like 105 videos. And then I realized like, okay, this is high effort. It's a lot of work to put these together. And as I was growing, my time and bandwidth became less with work because that's obviously my number one priority is my 9 to 5. That's what pays the bills. That's my career. And this is more of a passion project, but I needed to find a way to create content in a more efficient manner. And so I started just trying new different things. Like you mentioned, it's broad. I wanted the focus to be on like fashion, style, fit checks, some brands here and there and products. And then I just realized like I love creating, I love ideating, I love just thinking about new things and trying new things. So I was like, so what? I'm gonna be a little broad. I'm gonna try comedy stuff. I'm gonna try couple stuff. I'm gonna talk about news and have yapping videos. And it's kind of random at times. And I think that's like now my like persona is just like a content creator. I'm not necessarily a fashion, but if we go back to the name Esquire, the reason I went with Esquire Golf instead of just like Clayton Golfs or whatever was Duke. I'm an attorney, so Esquire is it's like uh, it's a term for attorney, and then Esquire magazine is kind of synonymous with fashion. So I'm like,
Mm.
Esquire Golf represents me as an attorney. And if I'm going to focus, my core is going to be around fashion style, then it makes sense. And that's how Esquire came to be. But it's really just like grown into whatever I want to be. I think if I just did the same thing over and over and over again, I would get burnt out. I would get bored, and I would lose the purpose of why I kind of started creating content anyways, which is to be creative and try new things and learn more about social media marketing and become an expert in it through doing. And so that's why I test a lot of different content formats, a lot of different ideas, because I'm just constantly trying to learn. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I do it in a way that I hope is entertaining or informational or valuable to my followers and people who view my content. And I hope I can create a different perspective for people who view golf a very certain way. Like I don't get me wrong, like I love wearing a polo and khakis and looking good, but I also like being myself and being casual and while still upholding the values and traditions of the game of golf. And I think there's a big new wave of people out there that resonate with that. And it's my way, I think, of growing the game, my small piece of the puzzle, my contribution to that. And I think at the end of the day, what I hope people take away is that golf isn't, what a golfer is and looks like doesn't fit in a box anymore. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you respect, the game, the course, the people who work there, the other people who are playing. And I think, I hope that's what people take from it. And if people do that, then I think I am positively contributing to the game of golf and the future of golf. It's long-winded, but that's my answer.
No, and that's what I love about you and Raymond. We've had Raymond on in the past, and we still chit chat every now and then. Um, what you two are doing for golf is so drastically different than what a lot of other people are doing. Raymond does a great job where he's like, hey, these 5 brands, these are what they're dropping this week. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'd never really heard of Metalwoods before Raymond was talking about it because I get really overwhelmed with everything on our social media because it's like, God, there's so many companies. I'm always trying to find somebody new to have on and, stuff like that. It's a whole thing. I go down rabbit holes all the time. But what drew me to you and Raymond's page is it's overwhelmingly positive. And obviously, what you do is you have those negative comments, you flip it, you make the videos. It's fun, it's lighthearted. Raymond's a little bit different. He's a little bit more fashionable, and I mean, super nice guy. Very fashionable man too. Good lord. I
And
always
he's
feel a
very
little.
smart.
He is.
He's
The
very
way
smart and
he
knows
the way
brand.
he
He knows the
carries
brand.
himself, and the way he carries himself is very like not cocky, but you're like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, and I really like that in people. Um, But I like that you said golfers don't look a certain way anymore, right? Like beard, long hair. I get all sorts of weird looks when we pull up to Derek and I are lucky enough to play in the 3M media day event the last couple of years. I get crazy looks because I pull up looking like this. And Derek, a little bit more clean cut, the amount of looks I get is ridiculous. And the amount of looks that we've from like guests we've had on, like we're very lucky to work with a lot of Latino brands and stuff like that. And they're always like, yeah, whenever we pull up to the range, people are like what are they doing? Like, oh, you've never seen a Mexican guy play golf before, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, we get all sorts of weird looks. And it's the same thing for, some of these black owned companies and, people getting into golf, right? Like I could cut my hair. I could give myself a sweet mustache. I can't pull it off quite like you can though. So kudos. But it's like, why conform? Why not be yourself in golf? And I think that's the cool part about golf in 2025. I mean, even from a couple of years ago is we're seeing it be more expressive, more personal, but we're also seeing more stories being told with these companies. And I think that is one of the coolest things that we're seeing really evolve in golf and evolve on social media, where now there's stories being told, heritages, vice versa. Everything I think now has meaning to people. And the brands that don't tell that story, don't have that meaning, like we were talking about earlier, are the brands that people don't really equate to or want to work with anymore. And I think that's really interesting as well.
Yeah, and I'll also say the one thing I think is cool about golf that's really unique is it's like whenever I post something like wearing a fit that's different, you get a lot of people that will comment like there's a reason there are dress codes. There, the PGA Tour has a dress code. Like that's how you should look and that's how you should be. But it's golf is the only sport that amateurs can play and make a hobby out of it and do it for the rest of their life. And they're amateurs. They're not pros. Like I can't go to play pickup baseball or pickup football. And like, yes, they have uniforms that they have to wear. But golf is that one sport where a majority of people that play are amateurs. And they shouldn't hold us to the standards of a professional tour player or the standards of golf's inception, which, was very uppity, high class, sophisticated, wealthy. A lot has changed since then. And I think what bugs me the most is people assume that if you don't look the part, right, quote unquote, then you're a bad golfer. You don't respect the game. You don't have etiquette. When in reality, I completely disagree. But I also see people in Peter Millar wearing khakis who look the part, who don't rake bunkers, who don't fix ball marks, who don't replace their divots. And it's like, you can't really say that just because I want to wear camo pants that I am bad for the game of golf, or I play slow, or I'm horrible. I'm a 130 handicap. And I think that's the part that makes me so frustrated and holds the game back from growing even more, is because of those unwarranted stereotypes about certain people, or like you are poor if you don't dress like this. And it's like, where do you even get that? Where do you come off? And I think it's changing, but it's slower than I would like. But change takes time.
It's
It is what
slowly
it is.
changing. And that has to do with, if you look at people saying those negative comments, it's never people our age, right? It's always people way older who started playing golf when it was very, I don't want to say elitist, but it was very like, wow, you have to have money to play golf. And a lot of those people are the ones who leave those comments, right? I remember you did a fit where you had like, it's not my style, but you had like that mesh polo. And I'm like, first of all, that thing's sick. I would never wear it, not my style, but I still appreciate it. I'm like, that thing's cool. The comments under that were either exactly what I said, where man, that is super cool, or it's what the fuck is that? Take that shit off. Don't go to a golf course. And it's very funny how, in a way, golf is polarizing now. It's like you're either over here or you're over here. And part of that is like you're either live or PGA, right? Now we're seeing it where it's like, man, you're either like very classic or you're very new school. And a lot of the companies are going to that new school, even the classic brands like TaylorMade and, Callaway. TaylorMade has a Red Bull collaboration. Like, what in the world?
Brands are trying to, there isn't. Look at what Malbon's done. They have
I'm,
changed the way people perceive fashion on and off the course. I was unsure the impact signing Jason Day would have, but if anything, what it has done, it's shown that the Malbon type of style can be worn at the best clubs, the best courses in the world, and done so in a classy, respectful style. And I think that they have impacted the game more. Like when we look back 20, 30 years from now, we're going to look at Malbon really changing the way people see it and opening the doors for people who don't want to wear the traditional look and more fitted pants with a polo and tucked in. And you're starting to see like really the only people upholding dress codes now are country clubs. Most public courses are becoming way more lenient because most people would rather go play golf casually. Like, I don't know about you, but it's much more comfortable playing in a t-shirt and some comfortable sweats than a belt and a tucked in type polo. And so for those courses to keep growing and getting business, you have to kind of open your doors to the new wave of golfers coming in. You got to fill the tee sheet. You got to get people to the range. And I think that's helping too, helping change the way people look at what golfers can be and what they are, which is great. It's great for the game now and in the future.
Well, and the last round of golf I played, obviously we live in Minnesota. Today we had a high of like 19, I think, and the real field was like 10. So like my last round I played was in October, which I was like, God, I've never played in October before. This is weird. I played in a hoodie, and it's like it's cold out. It's kind of rainy. I'm like, I'm not gonna get all like, I'm not gonna put a polo on. I'm not. No one's gonna see it. It's cold. I'm gonna wear this hoodie, and I'm gonna put on like I actually like golf pants because like they're water resistant. At least some of them are, anyways. That's what I appreciate about them. But it's like I'm not gonna like tuck anything in. It's cold, and we're playing a course in the middle of nowhere. Like, what's the point? But then, like, if you look at a lot of stuff we post in the summer where it's Derek and I playing holes, we're in running shorts and t-shirts. Like, sorry, but like that's what it is. Like my bag, loud. Like it's black, clear, and pink. There's nothing subtle about it. My clubs, pink. There's nothing subtle about it. And I like I'm sure the old timers are like, wow, what the hell is he doing? I'm having fun, right? I am going outside. I'm being active. I am paying the same prices everybody else does, but I guarantee you, we're having more fun. And to me, that's what golf should be. It should be fun. It should be inviting. Um, and I love seeing it become more and more fun and inviting and not so manly anymore. I love seeing the women get involved. I love seeing kids getting excited about it because it's like I can't imagine being a kid and wanting to play golf. And now I'm hearing stories about, young kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I go play golf. And I'm like, that sounds cool. I don't know if I want kids. I'm not at that stage in life, like you're talking about you're begging everything for your future kids. Uh, Congrats on the engagement. I'm nowhere near that. So like, it is what it is. But like, I know people with kids, and they're like, yeah, like my son got me into golf, and I'm like, how old's your son? Thinking he's like my age. No, the son's like 10, and I'm like, that's cool. That is the future, and that's why I think golf has a bright future.
Well, because I think I contribute this to golf fashion, but golf is becoming cool.
Yeah.
It's like, look at all of the most famous athletes in the world. What do they do in the off season? Steph Curry created his own, was it golf league to represent underrepresented minorities.
I think he has a line in Under Armour too for golf stuff. I think he has his own line.
And it's like people like him and brands like Malbon and students and Quiet, they're showing kids that golf is cool and golf is fun. And I'm glad that is happening because, some people say golf was dying before the pandemic. Maybe, maybe not. But I think golf is now seeing a surge in new consumers because they see themselves in what is being represented in style or the people who are playing the game. You don't have to be good. You don't have to look a certain way. It's about having fun. It's about experiencing nature in the most majestic way possible. It's about traveling the country and the world, going to see new courses with the most beautiful views of city landscapes or oceans or lakes and rivers and ponds. And it's bringing them in. It's like there really truly is. Like, I played baseball growing up. I played in college, but there is really nothing like golf in the respect of the places you can go, the people you can meet, the experiences you can have. It's such a special sport. And I'm glad that more people are seeing it that way. And I think it is because of this change in how people look and what type of people are represented on the course. And that makes me happy, right? Like, look, I've been in the game not very long, and I'm sure some people are upset and, they don't like this new wave of golf. But in the short time I have been in this industry or in this sport, I've come to love it simply because of the places I go and the people I've gotten to meet. Now, some of my best friends I've met on a golf course, like randomly got paired up with them or met through social media. And the one thing that connects us is our passion for the game. And that's special.
Yeah.
You could love football, but like, are you and your buddies going to go out on a Sunday and go play flat, like maybe on Thanksgiving? But golf's special that way. Like, you can go out any day of the week. You can go play with your buddies. You can go play by yourself. You can go see new places and experience new things. And I think that's a gift that golf gives that no other sport can do. So.
And, you're not going to go travel across the country to play pickup football.
No.
like obviously I'm in Minnesota, Derek's in Minnesota. I think the most scenic and fun course that we were like in awe of was we traveled to play Half Moon Bay. We played the ocean course. And I'm not a morning person in the slightest. Like, you can ask people who played with us. I was pissed that we had an 8 a.m. tee time. And for the record, the Airbnb was in San Jose. So we had like an hour drive. So it was in the car, it was Derek, myself, and then Brendan from Duffin Up. I gave Brendan like the death glare. I'm like, do not talk to me until I've had a Red Bull and a nap. Like, pissed. So I took a nap on the way there, ate a breakfast burrito and had an Irish coffee and was pretty set for the rest of the day. But as soon as we turned into that course and saw the ocean and the Ritz-Carlton and just kind of everything about it, I was like, okay, this is worth it. And you're not going to get that with other sports unless you're like playing all over the country and you're just super good. This is like an amateur course. This is not a TPC. This is not where the pros play. This is just a beautiful course on the side of an ocean where I almost hit somebody on the beach. Thankfully, I didn't, but I guess it was close. I couldn't see, the sun was in my eyes, and they were like, "Yo, do you have TL4?" I'm like, I can't see anything. So, shout out to that person for not dying or getting hit, because I would have been sad. What a bad way to end the round, but I would have been sad. And you look at the courses and everybody oogles and ogles over them. You don't go to football and go, wow, that Jet Stadium is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares. It's the same thing like with hockey. Every hockey arena looks the same. To an extent, every football field looks the same. Baseball gets a little bit different. I think Target Field is beautiful, but I'm a big fan of Busch Stadium and Oracle, and you know what I mean? That they get a pass. That's a little bit different. But like, I can't go play on Target Field, right? I can go play on TPC Sawgrass if I want to pay the money. I can go play wherever other than like the country clubs that are going to look at me and go, absolutely not, no way. But they're not for me anyways. I think that's like the beauty of golf, and I think that's where you can definitely say it is not like anything else. Because there's one major every year that everyone's like, man, I'd give my left nut to play on that course, and we all know what it is without even saying what it is.
Yeah, straight up. And I think the beauty of golf, like you said, is there are these country clubs and these high end courses, but there's a course and there's a place for everybody in every state, in every country. It's the memories you take away from those 5 hours you're out there with your buddies. You'll never forget those memories and experiences. Like, I had a coworker today. He knows that I do golf content. And he was stoked. He's leaving to Florida tomorrow on a 5-day golf trip, playing 5 courses with all of his best friends. And he was stoked to tell me about it. He's not going to rant and rave if he's going to a Lions game. It's a big something special about traveling with your best buds, playing the game of golf, having some brewskis, just enjoying these beautiful new places, playing a fun game. Like you said, you can't go play on the baseball fields or the pro stadiums or the football stadiums or the basketball arenas, but you can literally walk and play on the same grass that the best players in golf play on, and it's
Mhm.
special. Just like you said, Augusta National, we all would die to play that, and the
Or
greatest of the great have played there. And
yeah,
obviously, it's probably like corner from me. I can go play that whenever I want, or the Champions Course, and it's like I can go play it tomorrow, and I get to go a whole 16 with the whole setup there, and like you're gonna be telling your friends that you're gonna be taking videos for it, and it's a special moment, and that's why people have bucket list courses, and they have they take souvenirs and pencils and scorecards, and because they're memories. Every little knickknack represents something special in their golf. I think that this is what makes golf so unique compared to any other sport out there. And I'm lucky and fortunate and honored that I picked the game up and am where I am in the industry within just a year and a half. Like I truly feel honored because I get to see all these other people who know way more than me that get to teach me about these amazing courses and these amazing places. And it's so cool to see how passionate people are about this. Like I'm a Niner fan. We have season tickets. I love the
bang
Niners,
bang, baby.
but there's just something so special. Yeah, bang bang, Niner gang. There's just something so special about the sport of golf that it's hard to describe and it's hard to put into words. Uh, like I played Monterey Peninsula Country Club. One of someone I met through the golf industry got me on there, and it was like, so, sometimes I'm so bad at golf, I'm just like, when's the round over? And other, but this time was like, it didn't even matter how bad of golf I played. I was in awe the entire time from hole 1 to hole 18. And when they said, "Oh, we're on 18," I'm like, when? Like, how did we even get here? Because it was just such a special place that is like breathtaking, and you're just playing a game in the middle of it. Like, how cool? It's just I hope other people who are skeptical about the game of golf, who think it's boring or not fun, like I did, take the time to actually try learning it and play it. And trust me, it will be the best decision you ever make, and you will
Mhm.
not regret doing it.
So a fun
So,
little Easter egg. Like this is my bedroom, right? Like we have all my cameras. I'm a big Twins fan, so I got all my stuff. Obviously, you see the skull thing. My mom and I went to that game, and I think it's really cool. Above my desk, nobody can see it because of how it's all positioned. There's a picture. Well, a close friend of mine actually shoots for the Niners, and he's like a credential photographer. He only shoots film, so it's all black and white film right above my desk, and it's signed by him, and it's one of like my prized possessions at this point. It's a picture of Debo, and I grew up like I love the Niners just like you. I love Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis and all that.
hard to see, but I got my Debo card right here. Sits on my desk.
If I could reach my
Rookie
picture,
patch card.
oh nice. If I could
Yeah,
reach
I
my
think
picture, I would. But I'll have to send you his account because he takes just unreal pictures of the Niners on the sidelines. He does beautiful work. Daniel Alvarez, he's been on the pod before. I call him my camera dad. He got me hooked on Leicas, which is a very expensive hobby to get hooked on, unfortunately. I don't know if you're familiar with how cameras work. Them bitches are expensive. Um, I'll have to send you his account. Beautiful work, and he only does the Niners and kind of California specific teams. So if you're from like the Bay Area, stuff like that, he's got it, and he does. It's unreal. I got my Kittle jersey hung up for the year because there's nothing else going on, and I just picked up a new Niners hoodie. Nothing else going on, unfortunately. But when half the team's on the injured list, that kind of what happens. Um, Enough about football though, because I don't want to keep talking about it because I'm gonna get sadder and sadder. Um, a little what Derek and I are doing with podcast. I don't quite remember how Zapar started. I'll leave that for Derek to talk about in the next episode we do. Um, what we are trying to do is give creators, companies, people. Right? At the end of the day, behind every creator, they're a person. Behind every company, it's a person. We're trying to give them platforms to talk about what they're doing in this space. Um, stuff like that. Like we've had like you were saying, some of your best friends you met on social media or on the golf course. Some of my best friends we've had on the podcast and just meshed together really well. And, um, it's been just a ride the last couple of years. So, how this all started for the new listeners and for you, Clayton, Derek and I are playing golf and we're wrapping up, and he goes, "Hey, I have an idea." And I'm like, "This is a scary conversation right now. Like, what kind of idea?" And he goes, "You talk a lot." I said, "I sure do. Like, where are we going with this?" And he goes, "You're very opinionated." I said, "I sure am. I'll die on that hill." And he goes, "Start a podcast." I was like, "That is dumb." And I packed my bag up and drove away. And then COVID hit. I'm like, "Do you just want to do that podcast?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Cool. Let me get the page name on Instagram so nobody else can steal it." Blah blah blah. Hooked up this mic. I love this mic. Still use it to this day. It's still the OG mic. Not the same laptop. Obviously, that's been upgraded, but um, and that started in 2020, 2021. We started around the Masters weekend. That's kind of how we know kind of the anniversary of everything is when the Masters come on. Um, and now here we are. We've done your episode 158, which is ridiculous. And, like you were saying, you didn't quite know where you were going with your page. We had no idea. If you go back and listen to the first couple episodes, it's drastically different. We didn't have any guests. We didn't know what we were doing. Basically, what we were doing was talking about events and then picking who we think will win, like dark horse, favorite, who we want to win, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, we had people being like, "Hey, can we come on?" My first guess was OB Golf Co., which if you, I don't know if you know who they are. It's Shay and Shane. Funny enough, spelled almost the same way. Um, they're out of one of them's in Sacramento. I don't remember where the other one is, but um, they've been on like two or three times, and we love both of them to pieces. They were our first guests, and now we have sponsors and all this other stuff, and it's been one of those rides where it's like you can't replicate it because we decided to grow organically versus try to go the like boom or bust route. Like a lot of these companies like, yeah, I got to figure out what's going to hit so I can blow up in like 3 days. We sat down and we were like, I don't want to blow up in 3 days. That sounds scary, because then all of a sudden your life changes overnight. I'm like, I'd rather do this organically, have the DMs open, have these meaningful conversations like you and I have been having. I don't really feel like you can do that when you blow up right away because there have been a lot of companies that have been like, oh, you don't have enough followers for us to come on. And I'm like, You're never coming on now. Okay, bye." And of course, I'm too nice to be like, "Oh, I'll put them on blast." I've only put one guy on blast, and it's because he was just a dick to me. Um, Listen to the Roger Steele episode, and Roger pulls it out of me. Um, I'm just too nice to be like, "Oh man, they said no to us because of our follower count," and like that's the worst way to do things. Also, the issue with Derek not being here is I'll ramble on and on and on. So I do apologize. Um, but that is kind of the backstory of the podcast. Now we're just kind of like, hey, who do we think is having a lot of fun in the golf industry or in the golf world, and who do we see being a positive impact, changing the way golf is looked at, and stuff like that. And that is why you're here. We feel like you are making a positive impact on golf, on social media, with the way you hold yourself, the way you portray yourself. And now, like the way your fiance, soon to be wife, congrats again.
Thank you.
I just followed her. I didn't realize I sometimes I'm in my own little bubble. I didn't realize that she had her own page. That's
Yeah.
on me. I just followed her today. And I love that she's doing it like you're doing, but for women
Yeah.
and couples.
Yeah. 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 I love that she got into it. I actually encouraged her to do it. I started before her. And now she actually recently passed me in followers, but it's been so fun. And I think the coolest part is that we are try our best, even in like skit type of content, to be completely 100% authentically ourselves.
Mhm.
And like you said, the organic way is the best way because that's the best way to build a community and build relationships. And we've done that through just consistent posting every single day for more than a year. And some people blow up overnight on one video or one type of series. Shout out Sonny from Group Chat Golf. Like his page blew up overnight because his videos are hilarious. Bev Boys blew up overnight. And there's something to that, and that would be awesome. But at the same time, I've been fortunate that it's been like a slow. I've grown, and I think a lot of people would say that it's been fast. But when you put in the time and effort that we have, it feels sort of slow. But I think it's a blessing in disguise because you've been able to appreciate it. And it doesn't just happen where like you can't even reflect on the process and the journey of what it took to get to that point. And I think we have. And I literally am friends with people who are following me when I had 1,000 followers. And I'm so grateful for those people that stick around, still comment on my stuff. And I will not forget those people. I will always remember their names. I probably follow most of them. But when you blow up, it's hard to get to establish those relationships. And I'm sure those people will be followers until I'm done with content, if that ever happens. I just enjoy being creative too much. I don't know if that will ever happen, even if I'm 40 or 50 years old, still doing skits with Nicole. I mean, it's a fun creative outlet, and we're grateful for the journey. It's been a grind. I think a lot of people don't understand. I mean, you get it from a podcast standpoint, how time consuming and how much effort it actually takes to get a podcast up and running, to edit the episodes, get the episodes loaded on different platforms, set the guests and the schedule, and set aside time. Especially if you're going to school, you have a job. Same with us. It's like having 2 full-time jobs, and you just have to. Not a lot of free time because it all goes to the golf content. And honestly, sometimes we look at each other and we're like, we're exhausted, but I don't think we would trade the last year and a half for anything. It's been a very special time, from being like never playing golf to, I guess, being, I don't even like being relatively known in the golf industry on social media. Like it's pretty cool. And like I said, like I feel honored to be a part of it. And I'm grateful for people like you who recognize the effort and appreciate the type of content. And I just hope that it keeps going the way it is, and I keep building relationships, and I keep meeting people and keep golfing with people that follow me. And because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's what golf is. It's bringing people together, sharing unique experiences, and creating memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, no, and I couldn't say it any better. And I do want to touch on it's so hard to grow a golf podcast because there's so many and people only listen to like the big ones, right? Like everyone's like, oh, you're not gonna be foreplay. I've met the foreplay guys. I don't want to be like foreplay. I want to be something entirely different. And people who have met me outside the podcast, or even like some of the listeners that have met me, because there are a handful. We had a couple kids run up to us at the 3M Open, like, oh my God, you're Derek and Dominic. And I'm like, how the heck? And then I realized, oh, I look like this. I stick out. That meant the world to me. And funny enough, we have Caden coming on next week. And he was one of the kids that were like, hey, we see you're out there. Maybe we'll run into you, blah, blah. Ran into us again. I was like, dude, find me. We'll talk, we'll do whatever. That meant the world to me. Are we the biggest podcast ever? Absolutely not. Do we have the most followers? No. Does every follower mean more to me than if I blew up overnight? Absolutely. Um, and I think that's what makes what we're doing a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. Podcasting's hard. Like you said, there's a lot of time and effort. Generally, we do this in Derek's apartment, and then I drive home, and that's like half hour, 40 minutes. So we're already recording late. I now have to drive another half hour, 45 minutes home. I then have to make reels for the following week, and then get it all edited and then post it. And it's a lot, and it's something that I can't really walk Derek through because it's a little bit complicated. So I just do it. And I'm like, dude, I'm tired, but I'm like, I got to do it. It's a grind, but some people enjoy the grind. And that's usually the mentality I try to have is somebody else would love to be doing this and I get to do this. And I think that kind of creates an appreciation for it. Doesn't matter how long my days are because I worked all day today. I got, like I told you, my foot's killing me. I think I have like a lateral fracture. Like I did some Googling. Uh, I'm exhausted, but you said, hey, I can come on an hour later. No problem. Here we are. Um, Generally by this time is when I'm leaving Derek's apartment, not starting. So it's a little bit different. It's a grind. However, I get to shut my laptop and then just go into bed. Beautiful feeling. I did want to talk about companies that I think people should know about, or just see if you've known about them, companies that I get to work with on like a weekly basis and stuff like that. So one of the smaller ones and newer companies has been Bad Golf Co. It's like I've got this hoodie, I've got a brown one that's embroidered up front, and then the back is like a big golf course. It's somewhere in my closet. If I could easily find it out. Oh shit, there it is. Hold on. This never happens where it's right there when I need it. So the front of it, just simple embroidered. God damn, it's not focusing. But then the back is this like beautiful, and they just started. So this is, they started 2024. Homegirl Jess started it, and she was like, Dom, how do we get in this? I'm like, you got to set yourself apart. You got to be authentically you. She's like, I suck at golf. I'm like, perfect. Make your brand around it. And I think she's doing a great job.
You have to tell stories. You have to, like, I look at that sweatshirt and I read the back and it said, perfect golf is boring.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks to so many people. And I think like this new wave of golf, the reason part of it is growing is because before I think people thought that you can only golf if you're good. And what is happening now is even on social media, people like Berdogi or even people like me and Nicole, who are beginner golfers, are showing people that you can still have fun, you can still create content, you can still be yourselves and not be great golfers. And people are still going to be interested in it because it's actually more relatable than watching Good. Yeah, like those guys are very entertaining and they have a huge platform and they've earned every single bit of success that they've had. But I don't watch them and be like, oh, I relate to this. I truth be told, I actually watch more like Bob does sports and be like, man, I'd love to go out with those guys and have a good time. That's more of the type of golf that I enjoy most of the time. Not hitting perfect shots, playing scrambles with the boys or Nicole. Like that's the most fun I actually have. And when you can tell a story about that experience, there's a lot of people like me who are actually going to relate to that and want to represent that brand than a TaylorMade or a Callaway or even a Nike and Adidas, because to a lot of people that represents the best of golf when a lot of us don't feel like we fit that mold. So brands that can tell that story, it's very relatable to a lot of us. So
I mean, this hoodie even says, it's hard because it's backwards. It says we're all bad here. I by no means am I a incredible golfer by any stretch of the word. I have like stretches where I'm like, God, I'll never replicate this again. Like I am just on a roll. I by no means am single handicap, whatever. Not my goal either. So when Jess made that brand and she came to me and she's like, hey, how do we make this? I said exactly what you said. Hey, we got to tell a story and we got to be authentic. I have no say in the brand. She bounces ideas and like designs off of me. I have nothing else to do with it. I paid for this and everything. So I'm not at all like an investor or like trying to push my own brand. This is just something that I relate to, that somebody is now discovering golf, is passionate about. Because she's been golfing less than a year. So for her to see like, hey, these don't represent me, I was like, that's what makes golf, that's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes that sport great. I only want to touch on a couple other ones since I know we've been doing this for a while already. One of my favorite companies that I'm very lucky to be super close with, I don't know if you're familiar with, is Los Golferos. They make Serapa golf towels. I have like 7 of these. Ralph, Raul, Hector, Sergio. Unreal. Actually, had Ralph texted me, so I'm kind of leaving him on red for a little bit. But
sorry, Ralph.
Ralph, he'll understand. Then they started their own podcast because they liked what we were doing, but they spun theirs to be Latino heritage based. So it's Latinos that are doing stuff out of the ordinary, pushing that, and I think that is beautiful. That's how I got introduced to Lalo from Nueve. Lalo's a fucking riot. If you've never talked to Lalo, oh my god, dude. when he gets flustered, he speaks in Spanglish. So I'm learning Spanish to try to like decipher some of it. Best day of my life. But Los Golferos, I love those guys. They know how much I love them. They flew out to Minnesota for a shindig and hung out with us all week. Um, Unreal. You know, like you were saying, some of your best friends. They're some of my best friends. Raul, and I haven't met Hector yet, which is funny. So I've been talking to him for years. I've never met Hector. He's busy, I guess. That's what they always tell me. I don't think he's a real
Yeah.
person, to be honest with you, even though I've definitely spoken to him on the podcast. Um, Another brand that I'm sure you're familiar with is Pare.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
really
have anything. I don't have anything from them yet, but I see that they're one of the smaller up and coming. He's very seems like well connected in the fashion space and doing stuff a little bit different with his style and twist on what he thinks golf apparel should be and look like. And I really do admire that type of brand building and what he's doing. Hopefully, one day soon I can get my hands on some of that stuff. But
I
I've seen a
can.
lot of people I follow and admire wear it. So good
Oh,
for him
dude,
to.
I'll throw in a word with Maddie. We may or may not be doing a collab with them this year, starting it, because how perfect is Save Pare?
Oh, there you go.
Telling you, I'm telling you, we had
There
that
you
idea
go.
last year, and we have to reconnect this year. But yeah, so everything Maddie does has a purpose. All the colors are Filipino inspired. So this is his ube hat.
Mhm.
Um, Being Filipino American, it's very important to him to share his heritage and his culture. And that's just another thing that I love about golf and his company. And Derek wears this all the time. I have a big head, so it looks a little goofy on me. Um, that and last time I wore one of his hats, I wore it backwards, and I had a sunburn on my head. Um, so that was super fun. Shout out Maddie. And then another one we recently had on is Campo Golf. He is out of California. He is newer. So Campo means field. I didn't know that. He taught that to me. It's Spanish. I'm learning Spanish. I have like almost a 50-day Duolingo streak, so I'm learning. Um,
That's impressive.
it's dude, it's the most. It's I've never been like consistent with things. It's the most consistent I've been to anything, mainly because a little bird gets mad at you, and that makes me sad. So I don't want the little bird to get mad at me. Um, Campo means field, and he named it Campo because he believes golf should be for everybody, just like fields are for everybody. And you play golf in a field essentially. And I thought that was beautiful. So there's all these really cool and upcoming brands. That's why I wanted to highlight just a few. Obviously, like we're super tight with the dudes from Four Bros. Everybody knows who Four Bros is at this point out of Arizona.
Yep.
We don't know
Yep.
who, yeah, like John and Trevor. Taco's the mayor of the shindig now. It's a whole thing with them. Um, I love Four Bros, and obviously I can go on and on and on about these great brands that we've gotten to work with, but I wanted to highlight those few just because I feel like they should be bigger. And like you said, Maddie is up and coming in a really cool space. And I think Campo Golf is kind of the next big thing if he stays consistent. I'm blanking on his name and I feel so bad. Like I feel
Hey,
terrible.
it happens, and anyone that ever forgets names, I never hold a grudge to, unless you've met them 150 times or you're best friends with them. But it's life, and no one should take offense to it. It is what it is. People are busy.
I
Other
feel
things
so
take
bad.
priority.
I feel so bad.
We can block this out. We can edit this out, and then you can say his
Vincente.
name. And
Vincente. That's what it is. Because I always want to say Vincent, but I'm like, I know it's not Vincent. It's Vincente. Vicente. There it is. Super cool, dude. There's a lot of these really cool Latino brands that we
Buena
love
Gente.
to talk to. What was that?
Have you heard of Buena Gente?
Oh, we've had John on. I am very familiar with
John.
John.
John is a gem.
Yeah.
Love John. Luis, who's working with John. Love what they're doing. That's storytelling at its finest, especially through visuals. The logos
Yes.
are amazing.
The
The
fact that
designs are
the fact that the
amazing.
hands and the
They're
rings are
unique.
based off of like his uncle, and I'm like, genius. I feel like if we could bottle up John's charisma, he could power a city.
He's one of the most
And like
genuine people I've met, for sure.
I John, we still have great conversations where I was like, guys, I really appreciate you because I need to get. He came out with this all black hoodie where it looks like it's the fingers outlined in like a felt. I need that hoodie and I'm gonna buy it. Once we end here, I'm gonna order it because I want to show John a little bit of support. Um, Amazing. What a pull out of the hat that you just did. Because, yes, we love Buena Gente. He comes up on the pods more often than I think he knows, which is wild that we still talk about Buena Gente. I also love talking about it because, like you said, he's very genuine, very authentic. Um, I think he's just a great human at the end of the day. And have you never met anybody who does not like John?
Yeah, John's an amazing guy. He's super genuine. He's energetic. It's contagious. And he is a living, breathing representation of exactly what he wants his brand to be. And I know I think he's doing this full time now. And I fully believe that this is a brand that every Latino golfer and non-Latino golfer will know of and want to wear. I am not Latino by any stretch of the imagination. I might know a few words of Spanish, but I am proud to wear my Buena Gente tee. What is the bean shirt? Oh,
Yes.
Goya,
Goya beans.
Goya bean
Yes.
shirt. I can't even tell you how many comments and questions I get about where I got that shirt. Creativity. It represents Latin American heritage, and in every single piece he puts out has a story.
Yes.
Whether it's personal or about Latino culture, and that's hard to do. You know, we see so many brands these days just selling patterned polos and with no story behind it. They just think that there's an easy way to make money, to grow a brand. But at the end of the day, that is so saturated. The only way to grow, I think, in the current day of age in golf is through storytelling and finding your niche and doubling down on it. So like, do I think Buena Gente is where it will be? Not even close.
No,
but it will get to where I think it deserves to be.
I think he's one of those brands that I look at and go, he could legitimately have his ceiling be the moon. Like his charisma, his storytelling, his designs, like you can have all the charisma, all the storytelling, but if your designs don't replicate the story you're telling, it's hard to do. And what he has done is I feel like it, he himself is a visual and physical representation of Buena Gente. The shirts don't have John's face on it. If it did, I'd still buy it because I love John. But what he's been able to do through the Goya beans, through the hands, through the rings, through all these things and tell a story is it's honestly beautiful. And like you said, you only know a few words in Spanish. My favorite word is manzana, which is apples. So there, I don't know if you knew that one or not, but atacha manzana means apples. Um, we always joke that I have been embraced by the Latino community more than any other white dude ever, to the point where they call me Miklo. And Miklo is from Blood In, Blood Out. Miklo is the white dude in the Mexican gang. That's me. And I get to work with all these companies and talk to all these companies, and it has been the highlight of my last couple of years is learning about their heritage and their community and stuff like that. So I feel like in a lot of ways I've earned it, but I also didn't go into it thinking, man, I'm going to be an adopted Mexican or Latino or, whatever. I'm probably like the whitest dude from Minnesota, right? Like there's nothing Latino in here. I did my 23andMe. It's all like Finnish. It's all over there. Um, so to be embraced by a community that first of all, to be embraced by the golf community is amazing. And you're feeling it and you're kind of understanding it. To be embraced by a community that I have no real link to other than loving the food and the people is awesome. So Buena Gente is great. Another one is like Tacos at the Turn. I love Nelson. Nelson and I,
yeah.
we have like a love-hate relationship. I love him. I think at times I piss him off, which I think is super fun for me. I have like a water bottle here that's full of stickers from companies that I'm kind of referring back to. A small one that goes missing all the time.
My bag of stickers.
Oh, dude, I've got a bin. I've started buying water bottles just to put things on water bottles. It's bad. One of my favorite ones that disappears all the time because he's a Marine and he goes and gets deployed and everything is Back Blast Golf. It's from Luke. He's out of SoCal. I can't remember where, but every logo that he puts out on his shirt, on his stickers, on whatever, he gets tattooed on him.
Okay, that's crazy. I got
So he
tattoos, but I'm not getting I'm not getting stickers tattooed on me.
so every logo or like sticker, every design he's made, he has on his body. So when we met up, I'm like looking at him, and first of all, I'm like, damn, he's big and ripped and has a killer mustache and made Patty the Baddie look small. That's weird. And then he plays golf and hits the ball just 2 miles. It's crazy. But then you look at your leg at his legs and you're like, that's on your shirt. He's like, yeah, bro, if I design it, I get it tattooed. I'm like, that is crazy. And I love you so much more now.
That's commitment.
So so there's all these companies out there that people I don't say they need to know about them, but they should. And that's where people like you, Raymond, Derek, and I don't feel like it's our job to like educate people because ultimately they're only going to listen to what they want to listen to, right? But we get to have them on, in my case, and tell their story and stuff like that. So what I wanted to ask you, and so I didn't put you on the spot, I asked you earlier. Can you name a couple companies that you feel like are up and coming that maybe should have a little bit more, maybe not to be seen, but a little bit more like visual? Let's help them be seen. Let's help them get a little bit of energy in the golf community.
So I'm gonna keep this short. I'm not gonna go into the details and tell the backstories of how I know all these people and
Mhm.
the brands. But I'll list a few, and I'll start with the ones that I think have a little bit more notoriety and are growing a little, doing a little bit better than the ones I'm going, not doing a little bit better, but have done a better job raising awareness and getting the reach than some of these other ones. First, Quiet Golf. Obviously, I'm repping them. I love what they're doing. Great materials, great storytelling, a great combination of modern style, modern fashion with traditional looks. Great material, amazing patterns. I love what they're doing at Quiet Golf. Very, very. I think they know what they're doing, and I don't see end in sight in their growth. Same with Students Golf, Manners, UK brand. They're one of the best brands in the game at storytelling. I actually don't have any Manners apparel, but I don't have to own anything or wear anything to be a fan of a brand or what they're doing. Manners is one of them, and a few of the other smaller ones that I really admire. Either from a brand standpoint, a marketing standpoint, or material, or just like quality of people that run the brand. Amble out of Carmel, Cadet, Cadet Golf, Emery Golf, Hazard Hunters, Fiore. Those brands make high quality garments, use high quality material. They tell good stories. They represent a certain type of person. And I think that those are on the smaller end that deserve more notoriety than what they're getting. But at the same time, it will come. And like you and me, we're always like, you don't have to rush to get to the top, right? Like build your community, fine tune your offerings, keep test and learning on your marketing strategy or your branding strategy. And if you create good products, you connect with consumers, you tell stories, you get people to relate to your brand and your products, or you as a founder, the growth will come and the notoriety will come. So those are a few of the smaller brands that I think are doing something that maybe others aren't, or bringing a flavor to golf that that is attractive to the new age golfer.
So we are
And look, like there's a lot of brands. Like I could go on for days. Apparel aside, you have Dimple and Divot. You have Dimple and Divot. You have BFS Co. It's like every time someone asks me about brands, I just like get a brain fart because there's so
it's
many. right? There's
It's
not
hard
like four or
because
five or six
yeah,
that I know. It's like hundreds.
it's hard
Seriously.
because you're like, it's like, do you want a clothing brand? Do you want like an accessory brand? Do you want someone who just does hat? Like, because people are always like, Dom, what's your favorite golf brand? I'm like, first of all, are we talking towels? Are we talking ferrules? Like, what are we talking? Because like towels, I only use those called ferrules. Those are the boys. I will only use them till the day I die. And it's like one of my favorite apparel brands is Back Nine Bullies.
I love
I have
back nine.
nothing.
Shout out John Rios. That's our dog. We love John.
I love John. No, John sent me a little care package because I scooped a bunch of Black Friday gear, and he knows how much I love the unstructured hat. So he made sure to send me a couple because I wore the
I got
shit.
like 20 of their hats on my rack. Kid you
I've
not.
got a bunch. I love John. We're working with him on the shindig. Hopefully that'll be in May though.
Jane Golf is another one. What they're doing is incredible.
Yes,
Radry Golf is another one.
he's near us. He's in Wisconsin. We've had him on, and I have some of his art.
He's super talented. Like honestly, it's funny. I thought I was a creative person. Then you meet some of these founders and you see what they do and their abilities, and you're like, holy shit. Like they're creative on a completely different level and a completely different scale. That's so respectable and commendable. Building a brand is really hard, and doing it in a very strategic, purposeful, intentional way is even harder. And doing it every single day, following that strategy and keeping that perception is hard. So for those brands that do a really good job of that, like super admirable. I would love to pick all of those founders' brains for days on end because there's so much you can learn from them, the way they think about brand strategy, marketing, design. I really, really respect all of those guys, all of those founders that you just mentioned. And like I'm in a completely different boat as a creator. I wish I was in their shoes on the other end, but it's a completely different commitment. It's a completely different knowledge base.
Mm-hmm.
The issues they deal with are completely different than the ones that I deal with. So really, really respect those guys and all the effort that they put in to grow the game of golf
Yeah.
in a way that represents them and the way they see the game. And that's why Cadet Golf started, is these two founders who've been in the apparel industry for a long time. They were like, we don't see stuff that represents who we want to be on a golf course, and I love, like, I wear their shorts all the time, and love their polos. And it's like, it's a risk to enter an industry and create a brand. So when you do it the right way, very purposeful, you have my full respect. 100%.
Well, when you said Fiore, I was like, damn, I love Tony. I haven't talked to Tony in a little bit, so I should hit him up. But like the tan head cover, fuck, I can't never point it out. That one, that's a Fiore cover. I love it. It's been in my bag a while. It only got replaced
They're
because
beautiful. They're beautiful.
the leather
Everything
is
he
great.
does,
I've
everything.
got one of his shirts, and he donated some stuff to our last shindig, and we gave it away. And the person who got it was pumped. Like I was like, dude, this was like a while ago, but I was like, dude, how cool would it be to give away one of your, like a whole kit from you, but we shoved in one of your Nalgene's. He's like, dude, I love that. So that's exactly what we did. We had the matching hat, shirt, and Nalgene bottle. I rolled it up, threw it in there, and gave it away. And the person who got it was pumped. Funny enough, it was Jess. And I think that kind of kickstarted her creativity. She still uses that water bottle. So whenever I see her with that bottle, I just get excited, and I send a picture of it to Tony every time because I'm like, dude, like that's what it's about, right? Um, right. There's so many cool and fun brands out there that it is truly hard to touch on every single one because in a lot of ways they're all very unique, but in a lot of ways they're all doing the same thing that we're doing, which is growing the game.
Yeah. And another one, let me throw a couple out there. I can't think of one. The hat's right here. I'm going to go over and check the hat. But Tilly Golf, they're in your
Yes.
area. What he's done through storytelling and like being able to share how he views the game of golf through apparel and color schemes and designs, that's really impressive too. I love what he's doing. Give me 1 second. I don't know
Yeah.
why I can't remember this name, but it deserves to be mentioned.
So for those of you listening during this pause and you ever wonder what
Got
goes
it.
through my head, nothing.
Hold on. You also have Merrill Golf, Brandon,
Hmm.
LA based, super talented, super stylish guy. He also has golf gallery shop, golf and wine club. Like, really admire what he's doing. Met him last year at the PGA show. And also Rally Golf. I think Rally is super cool brand. Jose Balderas, Texas guy. Really respect him and what he's building and his passion for his brand. Like, if I missed one, and if you're a brand and don't feel offended, like, I'm sorry, there's so many. There's just so many. And we've been doing this for like over an hour and a half, and it's
Yeah.
9:30 now. My time, way
Well,
later at your, yeah, it's probably 11:30 where you are.
no, it's 10:30.
10:30. So
Yeah.
that's commitment. But all these
Well,
brands deserve their spotlight. And it's not like, hey, go buy their stuff. It's just more of like, there are options. You don't have to buy Callaway or Peter Millar or G4 or the highest and most expensive brands. There are small brands out there that represent different types of people, and there's a brand for everyone. Even off the course. Like, I never thought I'd be the guy that literally wears golf hats and golf shirts everywhere I go, and golf sweatshirts now. Like, you won't. I'm wearing my True Links wear, my Quiet Golf hat, my golf gallery shirt underneath. Like, it, golf brands are now a staple. Yet this does not look like golf.
oh
It's
yeah.
golf
Like I'm
apparel and golf
casually
brands are transcending. They're transcending the sport.
like I
Like, you'll see
casually
people
wear
wearing East Side golf shoes on the court.
I casually wear tee up kicks with Chris or tee up kicks golf because I love what
He's the
Chris is
homie.
doing.
He's the homie. Super creative
No,
guy. He's
I
great
love
for
what
the game too.
I love what Chris is doing. And then we worked with Ty for our shindig. Ty owns 1A Visual, so he's a videographer. If you ever want to talk to somebody creative, talk to a videographer because
Big Shot Ty. Is that
Ty,
who it
dude,
is?
Ty, yeah, Ty went above and beyond. So he did our shindig. And if you don't know what the shindigs are, that's fine. Shindigs are what we call our events. So
I've
we
been to
go,
one. I've
did
been to
you?
one in Scottsdale.
I wasn't
Well,
at that one.
yeah, Continental. Yeah, Derek was.
Derek was. I was not. I did not know that. So we have another one in May. If you want to come out to SoCal, hang out with us, you're more than welcome
Yeah,
to.
that's it. It's hard to, like, all these events happen to be during the middle of the week, and
Oh,
like,
ours is a Saturday.
see, that's what it should be. But like, all these events are on a Monday or a Wednesday. I'm like, I can't just take off work all the time for this. I can't do it as
May
much as I want to. I
May
can't.
31st. May 31st. You're the first person to know outside
I'm
of
getting
Derek.
married May 25th. So
Oh, so this is perfect. Pre honeymoon.
yeah, yeah,
Pre
it's
honeymoon.
yeah, you make a good point.
So May 31st, Burbank, California, the Bell Golf Course.
Burbank, Southern California. That's LA. That's a little inland.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. I don't know.
So I'll
I'm
be
not going to
honest with
pretend
you.
I know LA. I lived there
I've
for a
I've
summer. That's it.
been to California once, and that was for the first shindig, and I have not been back since. But I'm excited. So you're the first person
You're
to
not
know
missing out.
outside of like people that we've been planning it with. Um, so congrats, 531 Burbank. Be there, be square. We were working on some fun prizes, but um, I did our pre-shindig round. A person in Wisconsin had us out and hosted us. It was beautiful. I'm going up to one of my tee shots. It's like one of the last holes, and I'm like trying to like focus in so I can like end with like a semi acceptable score with this group of 8 of us. I'm walking up, I'm trying to get my zone. He goes, "Bruh, you're so pretty with your hair flowing everywhere. I don't know how I get a bad shot of you." And I had to step off and go, "Dude, you can't say that. I'm trying to like get dialed in." Um, but yeah, huge shout out, Ty. We have videos up on the podcast page of the shindig. Like drone footage. He did it all. He did all the editing. We did a little commercial for the 3M Open. That was fun. Uh, if you ever want to talk creativeness, videographers, dude, it is crazy. The stuff Ty does. Like, I'm a photographer. the way he uses his camera is so drastically different than mine that I can't wrap my head around it. It is ridiculous, but
Yeah, people are talented. Way more talented than I'll ever be. I
when
just use
he
my iPhone. Like you have people like Jeff Marsh and Pins and Passports. The way they're able to tell stories and evoke emotion, but just through a lens, is so impressive. Something I'll never be able to do, but I'll have the utmost respect for.
yeah.
Uh, you
Well,
know, uh, we need those people.
and
They
Ty
tell
did it
stories
all.
better than everyone. They
And
help
Ty
tell those stories.
and Ty did it all himself. He did the shindig all by himself. I lent him my drone because he's like, "Do you have a drone?" I'm like, "Do I have a drone? Hell yeah, I got a drone." So all the drone footage is my drone, but he controlled all of it. He did all of the pre shindig stuff. He edited it. He's like, "What song do you want to do?" I'm like, "Dude, let's do Essential C song." We did 6 for 6 because I'm like, "It's perfect. Worked all year for this. This ain't no coincidence. Perfect." And we basically did like a big FU to everybody who said that we couldn't do it in Minnesota, and we did it in Minnesota. So, long
Dang.
story short, we're coming back to California. 5:31. I'll make sure to let you know when signups go live because this thing is being California and the fact that we're big in California, it's gonna sell out. So if you're interested, I'll definitely send it to you. I'm not obviously you're getting married, that comes
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Keep me posted on that. I'll let you know.
I didn't
But I
know
really
you went
appreciate
to
it.
the one in AZ though. I had no idea. I
It was a
they
last minute
so
thing. I was not planning on playing golf on that trip. I wasn't even living here in Arizona. I was literally just happened to be visiting family when that happened. Didn't even have golf clubs. I rented them from the golf course.
yeah.
And it was cool. It was awesome. I had a great time.
So the reason I wasn't there was last second my job was like, "Hey, we're doing inventory that day." And I was like, I can't leave my part-time staff to figure this out on their own. And I was like, I could either be the really city boss who says, "Okay, bye, figure it out," or I could be the really good boss and human and be like, "Okay, I'm going to put my trip aside. Let me help you guys figure this out for the next time around." And I don't regret missing it, but boy, did it look fun. The glow balls were it was one of my ideas. That's why they did it at night. I was like, dude, how cool would a night event be? And Jordan and Derek took that thing and ran. And I was like, oh my God, it looks so great. Um,
It's
do you
hard.
have
I
the
have a
glow
oh,
balls?
there we go. Shot
I
loaded.
so I have one of the first few sleeves of the glow balls. So we sent um ours to a manufacturer and then they remade them. Yeah,
These are awesome. I can't wait to
they're
use these.
they're
Waste Management
great.
Open. There's a couple night golf events. I will be rocking these.
Oh hell yeah! Make sure you tag Jordan from Odin and then us because that'd be cool to see. Um, so before we end
Yeah.
it, because it's already been a while, and obviously I kind of want to go to bed. I'm sure you've had a long day too. We always end with,
I work East Coast hours, so me too.
I mean, I'll still be
I've
up a
been up
while
since
after
5.
this. Yeah, but I there's a few things we always like to do. We always do rapid fire and we end on food. So my rapid fire without Derek being here is a little bit shorter, but I have a couple that I think I'm very curious to learn about you. I'm gonna put you on the spot just a
Okay.
little bit, just like a tiny bit. Um, so for this shindig, what we're doing is we're doing walk up songs. So on hole one, you get to play your walk up song. What are you walking up to?
Well, I'm gonna because this is nostalgic for me. I was a college pitcher. I
Mhm.
My junior year, I was a Friday night starter. I walked out to a Modest Yahoo song, Sunshine. I'd probably pick that song, not because it's my favorite song now, but because it would that kind of take me back to the days of pitching on the mound.
Mhm.
And I still like remember the whole song. And if it wasn't that song, let me go completely end of the spectrum. Shout out my boy Chris Parker in grad school. He introduced me to First Day Out by T Grizzly. And
Okay.
I love that song. I can almost rap the entire thing. I That song's a banger. I love it. That would get me hyped. If explicit content was allowed,
Oh,
that's
I mean, I never
that
said it
is the song
wasn't.
that I'd probably go with.
I never said it wasn't because chances are
Yeah, first day out, T Grizzly.
because chances are I'll hit one of the first tee shots as like the inaugural thing. I'm walking out to Pop Smoke. I don't care. It's either gonna be Dior or it's gonna be a hotel or it's gonna be like a slower one. But I'm walking out to Pop Smoke, like regardless. If not Pop Smoke, I'm gonna throw everybody for a loop. Not say who's coming up, and it's gonna be Pink or like Nicki Minaj gets me pumped. Yeah, and I realized the Ray Sremmurd first album came out 10 years ago, so I've been listening to like Ray Sremmurd again. That's weird. I might come out to throw some Mo. That'd be wild. Oh, you got to go to the shindig to see what I'm
Hey,
gonna do.
you got to pick one. You got to pick one. What's the one? You can't have seven.
Oh, I can do it. It's my event.
Okay, sure. You can just mix them all.
No,
Yeah.
we're probably gonna do Dior.
Okay.
Dior
Yeah,
by
I would do
Pop.
first day out just because I've already done Sunshine by Modest Yahoo before. First day out would be the song
I think
for
I gotta
sure.
do. I gotta do
That's a
Dior.
banger.
Dior or Shake the Room would be a good one. Ah, there's too many options. Probably Dior though. Um, Second one is what's your favorite club in your bag?
I mean, come on, it's got to be the driver.
Oh, I hate my
Like
driver.
maybe I there is as an ex baseball player, there's nothing better than hitting a bomb off the tee.
Yeah,
And I love my driver. Uh, um, my 7-iron is my trusty iron. So it'd probably be 7-iron and a driver all day long.
it's funny because I'm polar opposite, and I played baseball. Like I played, hate my driver. I love my driving iron, which is weird. I have a 2-iron, and I hit that thing all the time. Um, we used to ask if you could play a round of golf with only one club, what would it be? My, I would always answer my 60 degree. So I can either blade it and it's going to go 400 yards, or I can hit it soft to get it on the green. Like there's no in between. It's either 400 yards or like 10 yards. So I'm like, that would be perfect. So my favorite clubs are my 60 degree, and then I love my putter. There's videos of us playing with the guys from 10K takes of me just draining eagle putts in media day. So I love my putter. Um, Kind of my go-to lately. I don't switch it up very often, but this past season I was playing with one of the new Mizuno putters. Unreal. So good. If you've never tried a Mizuno putter, get you one. Because good lord.
I'm a lab guy. I love my lab putter.
I've been
I
trying to
like
get them to
my
come on
Oz.
because I love the science. I think if I were to have a lab mentally for me, if the putter's too big, I get freaked out. So that's kind of what
Link
turned me
one.
off the lab. But then they came out with the Link one, and that's the one I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while.
So sexy. I love my Link. I just replaced it with the Oz because I think the Oz combines the best of the DF3 and the Link into like sort of a mid mallet style with a milled face. I love the way it comes off and I love the control. And I
Mm,
also love how the Oz, like the Link, has a 0 degree shaft lane where the DF3 has a press pistol grip. That takes some time getting used to. I tend on the DF3 to like kind of put down, right? Where like the Link, I'm more like, like this, where the
yep.
DF3, I kind of go like that. The Oz is the same way. So I literally I played the other day with 3 friends, Caddy Andy, Sedona, and Andrew De Leon, and I was putting like a madman. And I got everyone there to like, yo, can I try your putter? I need one. I need one. I need one. The Oz. It's magic.
Yeah.
It can turn a bad putter into a good putter. Because I was a bad putter until I got that. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't say that because I was pretty money with the Link, but I love the Oz.
I've been trying to get them on because I want to learn more about the science behind them, but I want to learn about it from them versus me watching YouTube videos of people explaining it or reading about it. I like to learn stuff directly from the source, and I'm in a position, which is weird to say, that I have that ability with some of this stuff, but I've been working on getting them on. They're a little bit trickier just because of like their timing and everything and stuff like that. But the Link one is the one that I'm definitely interested in. I definitely know people who have the really big ones from them, and they freak me out. Like, yeah, no, they're too big. I'm the same way with, like, the grips. Like, if the putter grip's too fat, I don't like it. I like the Ping pistol grip. That's like my go-to. So I got to replace my Mizuno putter grip with the Ping pistol grip. I already have it bought, so I just got to do it. Um, a last question we always end on: if we're ever in God, your neck of the woods, it's so Minnesotan to say, but we're gonna roll with it. If we're ever in your neck of the woods, what are we getting for the day in terms of food? Like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Break it down. Where are we going?
Okay, so if we were going to breakfast, we're going to JJ's Deli. It's like 15 minutes for me, but it's your like OG Jewish deli. The
Ooh,
best bagels, the best sandwiches, the best breakfast sandwiches, the best latkes, baked good. I mean, I would go there every morning if I could. It's a staple. Me and Nicole love it. For lunch, oh, this is see, like if you were to ask me this when we were in Chicago, completely different. Food
hmm.
capital. I love Chicago. I lived in the West Loop, best food in the whole city. Scottsdale's a little bit different. It's a lot more franchisey. JJ's is not. So for lunch, I'm probably going to do something. This isn't super special, but like True Food. True Food
Okay.
is. I love it's a healthy, but they also just it's just good. Me and Nicole love True Food, and then for dinner we would go at 8 p.m. to Sushi Crush, which is right around the corner from us. They have a great deal where it's like buy one get one 50% off after 8 p.m.
Oh,
We
nice.
crush that. We crush that. Sushi Crush is fire. We're very picky with our sushi, but we would eat that every day. I know Nicole would eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if she could. And if we like, just to rewind, if we didn't get True Food, we'd go to In-N-Out for lunch.
Classic.
So yeah,
Not better than Culver's. Hot take.
not a super hot take. I lived in the Midwest for a while. I do like Culver's. I do think they're different. Like I like Culver's, and it's not like I compare the two. I compare Culver's more to like the best, like I see this isn't even fair because it's way better than McDonald's and Burger King and
Oh,
Wendy's.
way better.
But like I compare it more to like those. And now it's a little bit different to me because they specialize in like 4 or 5 things and they do it really
That makes
well.
sense. That makes sense. Culver's
But I
is
do love Culver's and I do
Culver's is
love the
very broad.
boom sauce. The boom boom sauce, fire.
Ooh,
Yeah, I love
everything from
Culver's.
Culver's. So they have the Critter Burger and
The
everything came out with
cheeseburger.
it. Yeah, it's called the Critter Burger. Basically, it's a cheeseburger, but then you get a cheese curd the size of your patty on the burger. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then I got one and I was like, this is ridiculously good. And then I felt like I had a heart attack after.
Yeah,
But
that's
my
how it
God,
goes.
what a
You
Midwest.
only live once. You only live once. Come on, food's a gift. You got to enjoy
Yeah.
it.
I don't think I'll ever have one again, but like it was a treat to try one. But oh my God, it was good. Clayton, thank you so much for the time. Uh, always
Pleasure.
love having you on. Obviously, we'll have to do it again down the line with Derek. And then, like I said in our messages, we'll do one with Derek and the future Mrs. Esquire, aka Nicole. We'll have to do it with the four of us. That'd be super fun. If you don't come out to the shindig, I won't hate you. I swear to God, I promise. Obviously, your wedding comes first, stuff like that. I'm not married. Derek is. I get it, but would love to see you there regardless. But thank you so much for the time. Obviously, you're a busy man. You do a little bit of everything. So, very grateful.
Yeah, the honor is all mine. I really appreciate you even considering me and asking me and being patient. We like 8 months ago, I think we had one scheduled. So
Was it
we
eight
finally.
months ago?
It was I was in Arizona. I wasn't living here yet, and so I moved here in April of last year, and I think it was like 2 months before that.
Yeah,
So it was like February. So
it's
yeah,
almost a year.
I appreciate the patience. I'm honored to be on, honored to be a guest, and can't wait for round two with my beautiful fiance. So thanks, guys. I really
Abs-
appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, we'll have you on again. We're good at revisiting, and that's the thing with me. Like, I know I remember you're like, hey, I don't want you to be mad at me, blah blah blah. But like this stuff, I'm like, dude, I get it. I'm really hard to like. I don't really believe in like being mad at people because obviously life happens, right? I didn't take it personally. Like, don't even worry. I'm pretty good at like circling back if I have positive conversations with people. I think that's important to keep that stuff going. So I had no issue being patient or waiting. I know John, or I'm sorry, not John. I know JD was excited to have you on and follow him, but I'll have to make sure that he listens to this one because
Yeah, and
he was pumped.
and I didn't mention Seven Iron. Some of the best gloves in the game. Black owned business. I love what he's doing. He's bringing his style to the game of golf through gloves and some apparel. Shout out JD. That's my dog.
I haven't told him this, but I lost the glove that he sent me. I was wearing it, and then all of a sudden I just wasn't wearing it, and it was the black on black glove, so it was the OJ glove, is what I was calling it. I had it one day, and then all of a sudden I didn't have it, and I was like, damn, I was pissed because amazing glove. It's thick but like breathable, and it's flex. I don't understand how he did it, but that's his secret, and we'll leave it at that. Clayton, thank you so much. Excited to see what Esquire does the following year, and obviously you're gonna be busy personally, but excited to see where it takes you.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to continuing to build our relationship and coming on again in the near future.
Yeah, let's wait till after you're married though, because I feel like that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, near future could be tomorrow. It could be 9 months. Who knows?
Yeah,
Just
I don't want to.
sometime relatively.
Yeah, I don't want to do one tomorrow. I got shit to do. But 9 months from now,
Yeah, give me
absolutely.
both. All right, let's do it. Thank you.
Do
Really
it.
appreciate it. Look forward to
Oh,
seeing this go live.
absolutely.
All right. All right. Take care.